House of fucking fire! I'm hit!
I'm Teddy Daniels, the man who got shot in that video. After getting hit with AK-47 rounds and almost losing a leg in Afghanistan, I'm now on a new mission to help Americans prepare for an imminent and devastating attack on America. You see, as an expert in military intelligence, I recently obtained this critical intel from the U.S. Congressional Advisory Board on Homeland Security. According to this intel, Russia, with the support of China, could soon attack us with an electronic nuclear weapon. The government doesn't want you to see this congressional report, but as you can see, it says in plain English that this attack could cause a nationwide blackout lasting 1 year that could kill up to 90% of the American people through starvation and societal collapse. Unlike traditional weapons, we won't feel any blast on the ground, and there will be no mushroom cloud. Instead, this is a silent, untraceable bomb that's detonated above the atmosphere in outer space. It's called HEMP, or High Altitude Electromagnetic Pulse. It silently emits enhanced gamma rays potent enough to shut down America's power grid and fry all electronics across the entire country. The report concluded that the blast will black out our entire electric grid and other critical infrastructures. With a single blow, it can plunge our nation into darkness for 365 days. Most Americans have no idea how bad things could get under this kind of extended power outage. So let me spell it out for you, because it would have deadly implications for you and your family. You see, the moment this bomb is detonated, you'll instantly lose cell phone and internet services. No phone, no TV, no radio, no internet. Nothing. That means you can't call 911. You can't call firefighters or the cops. Heck, you won't even know where your local police are, or even if they still exist. You won't be able to call anyone for help or even check on your loved ones. All electronics will be turned into junk. You'll have no AC, no heating, no refrigerators. Banks will shut down. ATMs and credit cards won't work, which means you won't even be able to take your own money out of the bank. You won't be able to drive your car either. You see, modern cars and trucks have vulnerable microprocessors that control everything from engines to dashboard electronics. That means they'll stop working instantly. In fact, any transportation with electronic components will simply stop working. At any moment, there are about 5,000 planes flying over the U.S. They will instantly fall from the sky, killing 500,000 passengers or more. All that in just the first day of the attack. Since you're watching this video, you'll be one of the few Americans who will actually know what's going on. And more importantly, you'll know what to do to protect your family. Most people will have no idea of what's happening. They'll have no idea they're about to enter a world of darkness, starvation, and dehydration, because things will get much worse on day 2. Yes, at first, mercy generators will provide pockets of light and power, but that won't last long at all, because without transportation, nobody will be able to get fuel for generators. Hospitals will shut down. Americans on intensive care or life support will also be among the first ones to die. Without utility generators, there will be no water pressure. That means your water faucets will begin to run dry. You won't be able to flush your toilet either. Once people realize power isn't coming back, the looting will begin in every neighborhood across America, including yours, even if you live in the suburbs. Grocery store and pharmacy shelves will be wiped clean in a matter of hours. Without transportation, stores won't be able to restock everyday necessities. Shelves will stay empty. And the supply of food, water, and medications will quickly dry up. Without refrigerators, it won't take long before food begins to spoil. In just a few days, this single attack would turn America back to the 18th century. By the end of that first week, millions of unprepared Americans will begin to eat from garbage cans. Hunger and panic will set in, and America will descend into total, lawless chaos. All hell will break loose with local gangs, fighting over what limited resources we have left. The mobs won't think twice before killing you and your family, and taking everything that you have. At that point, even your own neighbors will be desperate for food and clean drinking water, and they could become a threat to you. It will be every man for himself. If you've watched the movie Mad Max, you kind of get the idea. Look, I know this sounds crazy, and if you're thinking this can't happen here, just listen to what the former director of the CIA, James Woolsey, said. He warned lawmakers that this Russian electronic nuclear weapon could destroy much of the electric grid from above the U.S. with a single explosion. 2/3 of the U.S. population would likely perish from starvation, disease, and societal breakdown. Other experts estimate to likely lose closer to 90%. This is coming from the former CIA director. My patriot friend, this is not a drill. The threat is absolutely real. I've even discussed these national security issues with my good friend President Trump in a dinner at his golf course in New Jersey. Make no mistake, if you do nothing right now and just wait for the government to come save you, I can almost guarantee you'll be among the first casualties. You see, thanks to my military background, I uncovered shocking government intel that confirms nobody will come to help. And as a faithful Christian, a former Army infantry soldier who received a Purple Heart, and as a father of 4 kids, I feel like it's my duty to show you all the disturbing proof I've uncovered and tell you exactly what I'm going to do to protect my family. Because the truth is, we might have less than 24 hours to prepare. Like I said before, my name is Teddy Daniels. And if my name sounds familiar to you, maybe you've seen me on Tucker Carlson after he saw the combat footage from the day that I almost died. He invited me to his show to tell my story. Take a look.
So you were wounded while there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And I think we have video
Yeah.
of that. I mean, which is sort of amazing. You had a helmet cam?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is you in Afghanistan in a firefight. Here we go.
Somebody lay down some f***ing fire! I'm hit! I'm hit!
That's you?
That's me.
Shocking. That's shocking video.
April 25th, 2012.
I was hit by a round of AK-47, and that day, behind that rock, I had my talk with God. I had a vision of 2 soldiers coming to tell my son that his dad was killed behind a rock in Afghanistan. At that moment, I accepted death, but the rest of my unit was pinned down under heavy fire with no way out. And I didn't want my son to think that I went out without a fight. So I started going down the hill, shooting at the enemy, trying to draw fire away from my men, kill as many terrorists as I could. I was bleeding from my arm and my leg, and I was out in the open, fully exposed to enemy fire. But I had made my peace with God. If he was going to take me, he was going to take me. So the fact that I survived that gunfight, the fact that I'm here telling you my story, showed me that it was not my time yet. It showed me that God had bigger plans for me. And I believe that my bigger mission is to help as many Americans as possible prepare for this coming blackout disaster. That's why I decided to record this video and release it online. I want to show you a few critical survival techniques that you won't learn anywhere else. First, I must warn you that I'm about to show you is not sanctioned by the U.S. government. And the mainstream media is too corrupt to cover this story. So you definitely won't hear about it on the nightly news either. But thanks to my training in military intelligence, I've obtained some controversial information that I believe every American patriot deserves to know. So in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you how the Biden administration is lying to you about this imminent risk and putting your life and the lives of your loved ones in danger. I'll show you irrefutable evidence that the U.S. blew up the Russian Nord Stream pipeline and that Russia is preparing for a counterattack with this nuclear electronic weapon. According to this official congressional report, if you ignore this message and do nothing, there's a 90% chance that you and your family could die within the first year of the attack. But you do not have to be a victim. In the next 2 minutes, I'll also show you a few simple steps you can take right now to prepare for this 365-day blackout. For example, I'll tell you about the one thing you must do in the first hour after the attack that will increase your family's chances of survival by 99%. How to have unlimited electricity without having to buy overpriced solar panels or backup generators. How to shield your cell phone, electronics, and even your car from this nuclear electronic attack, and much, much more. These are the same techniques some of our elite military commando teams are using to protect their families. They won't share them with civilians because they don't want the population to panic. But as a Christian and a veteran, I think every patriot deserves to know these survival secrets. So pay close attention to what I am about to say, because the safety and survival of your own family could very well depend on this critical information. When you learn these elite survival secrets, you'll know exactly what to do when the blackout begins. Most people won't know what's happening and why the power isn't coming back, but you'll be in complete control. You'll have peace of mind, knowing your family has all the resources they need to survive the blackout, no matter how long it lasts. Brother, let me tell you something. Being fully prepared like that puts a lot of power in your hands. And you've heard the saying, with great power comes great responsibility. You'll become the leader of your family, friends, and community. They will depend on you for security, advice, and safety. They will trust you with their lives. So I must warn you, whether you want this or not, you will become the alpha dog. And trust me, they'll need you to step up because, as you're about to see, our own government and military has admitted that our nation is not prepared for this attack. That means once the power goes out, nobody will be able to help you and your family. Not the government, not the police, not even the military. We'll all be fending for ourselves like animals. So if you want your family to survive, you'll need to be ready when the shit hits the fan, which could happen at any moment now. Just look at what happened in Venezuela in 2019. When the entire country lost power for 6 days, it became almost impossible to get food, water, and medicine. By the 5th day, Caracas residents were drinking water from sewage drains and polluted rivers. Looters ransacked stores and supermarkets, leaving shelves empty. At least 40 people died, and that was just 6 days. Imagine how many more would have died in 6 months or a full year. If you're thinking, can this really happen in America? I wish I could tell you no. I truly do. But according to this official report, written by these two Homeland Security experts, the answer is clear. Yes, it can happen here. And the sad part is, even though everything I mentioned so far is coming directly from government insiders and the highest ranks of our intelligence community, most people will dismiss this message as some kind of crazy conspiracy theory or the ravings of some doomsday prepper. And I can almost guarantee those people will be among the first ones to die during the coming 365-day blackout. But it doesn't have to be like that for you and your loved ones. You don't have to be a victim. If you follow the instructions I'm about to give you, you can protect yourself and your family from this attack. Look, I don't know how you found this video online. Perhaps a friend shared it with you, or you came across this page by divine intervention. Either way, it doesn't matter. I believe God wanted you to see this information because we could have less than 24 hours to prepare. You must act fast because, as you're about to see, the Ukraine war is escalating quickly, and Russia is now warning it could soon retaliate against the U.S. Last year, they already threatened to attack our power grid. The U.S. continued to support Ukraine. What has the Biden administration done since that threat? Using your taxpayer money, they've provided $75 billion to Ukraine, including weapons and training, even though you and I know that China is our real enemy. President Biden is driving us to a war with Russia. That's why Russia just issued a warning to the U.S. that all the support will have catastrophic consequences. And just in case you think they're bluffing, you should know that while President Biden was visiting Ukraine and pledging America's support for as long as it takes, Russia was conducting intercontinental ballistic missile tests with the same types of missiles that could deliver an HEMP attack. No wonder former Russian President Dmitry Medvedev, if I even said it right, has also just warned Americans to prepare for a possible apocalypse. Make no mistake, Russia is preparing for this nuclear electronic attack. And according to the official report from the Congressional Advisory Board on Homeland Security, the U.S. won't be able to stop it. Take a look. It says a widespread, protracted blackout is inevitable. Former senior Defense Department official Dr. Mark Snyder has also confirmed that America has no defense against it. That's why you must act now to protect yourself and your loved ones. Please understand, I know this all sounds crazy. As a father of 4 kids, I pray every day that I'm wrong, but I can't simply bury my head in the sand and ignore all the evidence I found, even though the lying media won't say a word about this. Everything points to an imminent attack. So pay close attention, because I'm about to reveal details of the Ukraine war our own government does not want you to know. I've already been attacked by the Washington Post, the New York Slimes, and Rolling Stone because of my political views. I've had the DNC spend millions of dollars trying to destroy my reputation simply because I'm a patriot. So I have no doubt big tech and our corrupt administration would not think twice before censoring me. For that reason, I can't guarantee how long I'll be able to keep this video online. And once the attack begins, it will obviously be too late. Remember, you won't be able to access the internet or call anyone for help. You will be fully on your own. That means today, right now, could be your only chance to learn the life-saving secrets I'm about to share. I'm about to get into all the details. First, let me tell you a little bit more about myself. Before I joined the military, I was a cop outside of Baltimore for about 15 years. I did everything from regular patrol to narcotics, from investigations to a special weapons operator, from community service to a hand-to-hand combat instructor. Then in 2011, the war in Afghanistan started getting really bad. Every night on the news, I'd see the caskets coming home. And I felt like I had to do something about it, because I come from a family of veterans. My grandfather was in the Marine Corps. He fought on Iwo Jima. My other grandfather lost a leg during the D-Day invasion. They risked their lives to protect our freedoms. I wanted to do the same. So even though I was 35 at the time, I decided to enlist active duty. But I wasn't just looking for any military job behind a desk. I was walking away from a career that I loved. So it had to mean something. That's why when I talked to the Army recruiter, I told them I want the hardest job you possibly have. And that's being an infantry. It's the most physically demanding, psychologically stressful job in the military. Because you're always in combat, constantly putting your life on the line. Knowing anytime you leave the wire, you get shot in the face. In fact, on my first deployment, they sent me to Kunar province in Afghanistan, which at the time was known as the deadliest place on earth. They even called that area the Valley of Death. At first, I didn't really understand the significance of that name, but I quickly realized that I had been sent to hell on earth. We were in gunfights every day, rocket attacks, IEDs, mortar attacks on a daily basis. I lost several very close friends. And I'm only here today because of a miracle. In that video I showed you earlier, you saw that I dropped my rifle when I got hit. What you didn't see is that I was holding that rifle right in front of my face. That AK-47 round was going straight to my head, but it hit my rifle instead. That's the only reason why I'm still here. My story got a lot of press at the time. I was virtually on the front page of every paper in the country. I was even invited on Oprah, Jimmy Kimmel, Jay Leno. I turned them all down because I did not want the attention. Like I said, I lost friends over there, and those guys are the real heroes because they paid the ultimate sacrifice. Sure, I was wounded. The VA actually wanted to amputate my right leg, but I'm still here. I still get to wake up every day. I still get to hang out with my kids, including my youngest son. So the least I can do in the time that I have left on this earth is to help as many Americans prepare for this coming 365-day blackout. So when I first heard about this HEMP threat, started looking into it, like I mentioned earlier, I recently got a hold of this report you're seeing on your screen called Blackout Warfare. This is the official report from the Congressional Advisory Board on Homeland Security I told you about earlier, and it details how our enemies, including Russia and China, could be preparing for blackout warfare. I read that report from top to bottom, and with each line, my heart, folks, was pounding faster and faster. The more I read, the more I thought, holy crap, we are screwed. You see, that report explained how Russia has been developing and testing this HEMP bomb since the 1960s. But only recently they developed the technology to actually detonate the bomb over the US. I'm talking about hypersonic missiles that travel at more than 5 times the speed of sound. Unlike traditional missiles, it can change its trajectory to trick defense systems. It can also travel without being detected by radar. In other words, these hypersonic missiles cannot, I repeat, cannot be stopped by our missile defense system. Simply put, our military and our country is totally unprepared. And if you've been paying attention, that shouldn't really surprise you now, should it? I think every patriot American knows that under President Biden, our military has gone completely woke and is no longer focused on defending us. I mean, the Pentagon has publicly declared that its priorities are climate change and promoting equity and diversity. The Navy is even using drag queens in its recruit campaigns. Folks, nothing against the Navy, but I was Army, so I could talk a little trash. What a joke. While our enemies like China, Russia, Iran, and North Korea, yeah, folks, every day they are training to kill us, our military is teaching soldiers garbage, like how to use made-up pronouns, or the idea that men can be women, and that all white people, I guess me, are racists. No wonder our military has become a laughing stock around the world. As a veteran who lost friends in battle, it sickens me to see that our woke military can no longer protect us, even though you and I are the ones paying for their salary. That's why me, and many veterans I have served with, have already taken measures to protect our families from this imminent attack. All I want to share, all these elite survival techniques with you today, including an HEMP proof source of energy I call unlimited energy, right in your pocket. A magic 5-inch device you can install on your breaker box that will instantly turn your entire home into an HEMP shield. The Air Force One secret that can protect your computers and cell phones from this attack, and much, much more. And I want to put all these instructions in your hands today so you can save yourself, your wife, your children, and your grandchildren. But before I give you all the details, you might be asking yourself, gee, why would Russia launch this attack? So let me show you how Russia has the motive and the means and the opportunity to launch an unstoppable attack against America. An attack that could have deadly consequences for you and your family, regardless of where you live in the U.S. So let me take you back to September 26, 2022. That's when C4 explosives destroyed 164 feet of the Nord Stream pipeline. The underwater pipeline that was bringing Russian gas to Germany. I'm sure you've seen the images of this sabotage on TV. Now, maybe you've heard the corrupt mainstream media telling you that, hey, Russia did it. It's also what the Biden administration said. Before you take their word for it, ask yourself, has the media or Biden administration lied to you at all in the last couple of years? Think about it. They told you that Hunter Biden's laptop was Russian disinformation. They told you that the idea of COVID, that it came from the Wuhan lab, was a conspiracy theory. You know, it came from people eating bats at a market. They told you that the vaccines were safe and effective while people across the country are dropping dead. They told you that our border is secure, yeah, and that men can get pregnant, that our economy is strong as hell, and that our inflation would be transitory. They lie and lie and lie and lie some more. That's all they do. And when they get caught, they act like nothing happened. And then they just move on to the next lie. Do you think they're telling the truth about the Nord Stream pipeline? You see, this pipeline gave Russia huge leverage in this war with Ukraine. They could just tell Europe, hey, you better not get involved in this war. I'll shut off the pipeline and your population will freeze to death. Why would Russia blow up its own pipeline and lose all the leverage that they had? Why would they shoot themselves in the foot by blowing up a pipeline that had the potential to generate $15 billion a year for Russia? It makes no sense, guys. None. Of course, I'm not surprised they're blaming Russia, even though you and I and every American patriot know that China is our real enemy. The Dems blame Russia, Russia, Russia. Guys, you heard Trump say it. Russia, Russia, Russia. They need to cover up this sabotage because it's a clear act of war. The truth is, the U.S. intentionally destroyed a key Russian infrastructure, giving President Putin a legitimate reason to attack our infrastructure. And that's not just me saying it. Listen to what Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist Seymour Hersh wrote. Navy divers destroyed the Nord Stream pipelines, according to a source with direct knowledge of the operational planning. Biden's decision to sabotage the pipeline came after more than 9 months of highly secret back-and-forth debate inside Washington's national security community. Biden did it. The smoking gun actually comes directly from President Biden. Listen to this.
If Russia invades, that means tanks or troops crossing the border of Ukraine again. Then there will be no longer a Nord Stream 2. We will bring an end to it.
How will you do that exactly, since the project and control of the project is within Germany's control?
We will. I promise you, we'll be able to do it.
Even though he was probably not supposed to say anything about this, he went off teleprompter again and clearly admitted that the U.S. was planning the sabotage. Without the pipeline, Russia has lost its political leverage. And now, guess who gets to supply natural gas to Europe? The U.S. That's why, when asked about the pipeline bombing, Biden's Secretary of State, Anthony Blinken, said this. This is a tremendous opportunity. When you put all these pieces together, it's clear Biden did it. And now you and your family will pay for it. Putin is not dumb. He knows Biden blew up his pipeline. He has publicly declared that on Russian TV. Listen to this.
Политические штаты, конечно, заинтересованы для того, чтобы прекратить подачу российских энергоносителей на европейский рынок и поставлять объемы своего, в том числе сжиженного природного газа, даже если он намного на 25-30% дороже, чем российский.
And make no mistake, our incompetent president has driven us into an unnecessary war with Russia, and the war is escalating. Biden already said the U.S. won't stop supporting Ukraine until Russia's defeated. They even rejected a ceasefire recently. And Ukraine is no longer just defending its territory. They now want to take Crimea back, which means invading Russia. And the U.S. wants to change Russia's regime, just like they did with Saddam Hussein in Iraq. Again, listen to what President Biden said.
For God's sake, this man cannot remain in power.
He clearly said President Vladimir Putin cannot remain in power. We also have U.S. Congress members publicly calling for Putin's assassination.
I hope he'll be taken out, one way or the other. I don't care how they take him out.
That's why President Putin recently said in a national TV speech that Russia is fighting for its existence. And he's personally fighting for his life. He has his back against the wall. Do you honestly think a former KGB agent who's a cold-blooded killer will seriously go down without a fight? No, he's not going to. Do you think he's afraid of Sleepy Joe, a bumbling fool who's clearly showing signs of dementia? No, definitely not. That's why a Russian jet recently attacked a U.S. drone. And that's why Putin recently suspended Russian participation in the last remaining nuclear arms control treaty with the United States. Why would Russia do that? Folks, you ain't got to be a rocket scientist to know that they're getting ready to attack us, but they're not going to use traditional weapons. They don't want to get in a shooting war with the U.S. They don't need to. As the former Russian ambassador to the U.S., Vladimir Lukin, said, hypothetically, if Russia really wanted to hurt the United States, it could detonate an HEMP over the U.S. The resulting electromagnetic pulse would massively disrupt U.S. communications and computer systems, shutting down everything. No internet, no nothing. In other words, this is the perfect weapon for Russia. It's a silent, untraceable, and indefensible bomb. According to that report from the Congressional Advisory Board on Homeland Security, Russia could use hypersonic missiles to deliver this HEMP attack. These missiles could skim along the top of the upper atmosphere, significantly reducing visibility to U.S. early warning satellites, detection system, and radar. The report clearly states these missiles are virtually impossible to intercept with existing U.S. national missile defenses, and that this attack can be delivered anonymously. The perpetrator might never be identified because it leaves no fingerprints. In other words, we wouldn't even know who did it. That means Russia doesn't have to fear a counterattack from the U.S. Putin could simply deny it was Russia, just like Biden is doing with the Nord Stream pipeline. So put yourself in Putin's position. If you had your back against the wall, if you were about to lose your government, your country, and your life, and you could save it all by attacking the U.S. without any risk of retaliation, would you do it? Of course you would. Which is why a separate Homeland Security report concluded a failure of U.S. strategic imagination is setting America up for a HEMP Pearl Harbor. It could happen at any moment now. Even the Financial Times are warning that an attack could be imminent. They wrote, Putin's nuclear threats may hint at an electromagnetic pulse strike. Unfortunately, most Americans are not prepared to go 365 days without power, and millions will be caught off guard. That's why experts project 90% of Americans could die. And that's why you must prepare now. Once they detonate an HEMP, all of your electronics will be fried. The entire power grid will collapse. And again, our Homeland Security experts estimate we could go an entire year with no power. That's why today I'm officially launching what I'm calling Operation Blackout. My mission is to show you all the surviving techniques me and my veteran friends are using to protect our families. So I put all the details inside an easy-to-follow program called Operation Blackout. How to survive 365 days of darkness. Inside this life-saving program, you'll discover several secrets that will protect you and your loved ones, including how to get unlimited energy in your pocket. No, I'm not talking about regular generators or expensive solar panels. You see, having a traditional generator won't save you during this attack. The generator's motor would survive, but the electronics that control the voltage output would be destroyed and the generator would no longer work. I'm talking about a portable source of unlimited energy. Folks, you can carry this in your backpack. A source of energy powerful enough to power your entire home. CNBC called it a revolutionary alternative power source. Another article from Fox News said this source of energy is practically unlimited and has almost no downside. And the Daily Mail called it the holy grail of unlimited clean power. You see, when our military goes on missions that may last a couple days, they're often in remote locations in the Middle East with no access to power. Like when I was deployed to the Valley of Death. Still, our soldiers need to be able to charge their radios, night vision, tablets, weapon scopes, thermal imagers, and several other specialized electronics. Their life depends on it, and that's why they often use this revolutionary source of energy. You'll learn all the details of this military tech inside Operation Blackout. More importantly, we'll tell you how civilians like you can get their hands on the exact same technology within 24 hours for just pennies on the dollar. And that's just the beginning of all the life-saving information you'll find inside your survival guide. You'll also discover a squid-like 5-inch device you can install on your breaker box that will instantly turn your entire home into an HEMP shield. Like I mentioned before, once this nuclear electronic bomb is detonated, it will destroy electronic devices and electrical systems, including the ones in your home. Talking about your TVs, microwave, washer, dryer, and other electronic appliances. That also includes heating and cooling systems, lighting, and security systems. They will all instantly become metal junk. But with this squid-like device, you won't have to worry about it. It's guaranteed by our manufacturer to protect your home from this type of attack. Even better, once you get your hands on this survival guide, you'll be able to easily install it in less than 10 minutes. And there is so much more. Operation Blackout is packed with recently declassified intel that will help you protect your family. Like this, the Air Force One secret to protect your computers and your cell phones. Once this weapon is detonated, commercial airplanes will fall from the sky because their onboard electronics will get fried. There's only one exception, and that's Air Force One. Even our military knows this HEMP attack is inevitable. So they've already protected the president's plane against an electromagnetic pulse. Normally, this kind of technology will cost millions of dollars. And it would be out of reach from everyday Americans like you and me. But inside your copy of Operation Blackout, you'll discover a do-it-yourself alternative that would give you the same level of protection that Air Force One has, even better, no matter your background, level of survival skills. You can build this with only a few materials that you can get from Walmart or any grocery store. And folks, it should cost you no more than $20. So while everyone else will instantly lose their computers and their cell phones, you'll have complete peace of mind knowing that your devices are protected. And you're starting to see how this program is packed with life-changing information. Are you starting to feel the relief that comes when you know with 100% certainty that your family will be protected? In just a few minutes, I'm going to show you how you can get your hands on a personal copy of Operation Blackout. How to survive 365 days of darkness. Because the truth is, you and your family do not have to be victims. Sure, your neighbors might laugh when they see you taking all these precautions. Let them. They laughed at Noah when he was building the ark too, okay? They might call you a doomsday nut job and tell you this can't happen here in America. But once our entire electric grid goes out, they'll be the first ones to be banging at your door, begging you for help. Once they see your home is the only one with electricity in your entire neighborhood, they'll be desperately asking you for your secret. Once they see your family is all fat and happy, while everyone else is desperate for water and starting to starve to death, they'll wish they had prepared. Trust me now, you'll be amazed at all the life-saving secrets you'll find inside your personal copy of Operation Blackout. For example, you'll also discover the NASA phone you must have if you want to keep communicating with your distant loved ones. You see, once an HEMP is detonated, phone lines and cell towers will stop working. That means even if you save your device using the Air Force One secret that I just told you about, you still won't be able to communicate with anyone. But this super phone that uses NASA technology, you won't even need cell towers. AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, they can all go dark. Doesn't matter. With this secret, you'll have a reliable means of communication. And there's so much more inside your HEMP survival guide. Like, folks, this is good stuff. the broken battery tweak that will instantly protect your car. During this blackout, most people will lose their means of transportation. Hey, not you. This secret literally builds a shield around your car, ensuring none of its electronic parts will get fried. The safest place in your home to store your cell phone and other small electronics. Hint, this 30-inch area in your kitchen is the only place in your house that might be protected. 9 essential items you must have if you want to survive. Without number 1 on this list, you and your loved ones are guaranteed to die. The infinite hydration secret that could save you and your family. During the coming blackout, millions of Americans could die thirst as the supply of water dries up, but not you. Won't happen to you. With this secret, you'll be able to drink water even from the most polluted rivers, giving you and your family an endless source of clean water for drinking and cooking. The new blackout currency that will replace the US dollar. After the HEMP attack, credit cards are going to stop working. Cash will become useless because most stores are going to be shut down. Instead of cash, people will use this new currency. No, it's not gold, silver, or Bitcoin. And that's just the tip of the proverbial iceberg that you'll find inside your copy of Operation Blackout, How to Survive 365 Days of Darkness. For example, you'll also discover 100 non-perishable food items that would last at least 1 year. The only way to get official updates from the U.S. government on the blackout situation. The best weapon to protect your family against the mob. And it's not a handgun or an AR-15. How much potable water to store and where to never keep it. The life-saving maneuver you must do if the HEMP attack happens while you're driving. The only place where you'll be able to get fuel. Do not go to gas stations or you will get shot by the looters. The one critical move you must make on day 1 of the attack if you live in a large city. Your life and the lives of your loved ones depend on it. A checklist with the summary of 12 key preparations you must take if you want to survive the attack, and so much more. As you can see, this survival program will give you all the information you need to keep you and your loved ones safe during this extended blackout. This can work for you, even if you know nothing about survival techniques. This program is designed to work for everyone, regardless of your age, your background, or where you live. And I'd like to give you immediate access today, because frankly, we ain't got much time to prepare. With this war escalating, this blackout warfare could begin at any moment, even in the next 24 hours. Now, Operation Blackout. How to Survive 365 Days of Darkness. It's not for sale on Amazon or any other retailer. And even if I tried to sell it on Amazon, it's almost guaranteed big tech would label this as misinformation and censor me. For that reason, this elite survival guide is only available on this website. I honestly don't know for how long. But hey, I'm going to do everything I can to keep this page online. I mean, you know how much big tech and the current administration hates the truth. And we both know they have no respect for our First Amendment rights. That's why I wouldn't be surprised if they force us to take this down, which means this could be your only chance to get this life-saving information. A few American patriots, just like you, have already discovered some of the secrets you'll find inside your guide, and they're raving online. Like Patrick B., who said, "I absolutely love it. It definitely gives me a peace of mind knowing if anything happens, I'm covered." Todd A. says, "If an HEMP strike happens, I'm ready." And Brandon W. from Florida says, "We used it during Hurricane Ian when we didn't have power for 8 days. Life-saving." These brave Americans have already started to protect their families. My hope is that you'll do the same. Now, I know a lot of Americans try to protect themselves against a blackout by installing generators at their homes. I also know, folks, these generators ain't cheap. It could cost you $5,000 or more. And like I explained earlier, traditional generators will become useless during the coming 365-day blackout. But inside your survival guide, you'll discover a foolproof way to get all the electricity you need for as long as you want. And this program won't cost you $5,000. It won't cost you $1,000, and it won't even cost you $100. You see, as a Christian, a combat veteran, I want to put this life-saving information in the hands of as many people as possible. That's my bigger mission. For that reason, I tried to make this as inexpensive as possible. After negotiating with our publisher, we reached a price that was just enough to cover our expenses of keeping this page online for as long as we can now, and printing and distributing this guide all across the country. I'll give you the details in just a moment, but first, there's a couple more resources I want to send to you today. The first one is a bonus survival guide called The Invisible Survival Garden. How to safely grow your own food during a blackout. You see, from a very early age, my parents taught me about self-reliance. They grew tomatoes, corn, green beans, carrots, and I've been hunting since I was a kid. Give me a bow or a rifle, and you could pretty much drop me anywhere in North America with the clothes on my back, and I'll make it back with food to end up in my stomach. On Thanksgiving, I used to put my own bird on the table, and I can gut, skin, and quarter my own deer or bear. I believe having these kinds of survival skills can be critical during an extended blackout. So inside this report, I'll teach you how to grow your own food in a way that will be invisible to potential looters. You see, if you had a regular garden that's visible to all your neighbors, it'd be like putting a big neon flashing light in front of your house that said, "Hey, we got plenty of food, come loot us." In other words, you'd actually be inviting the criminals and the hungry mob, putting your family in unnecessary danger. But with this secret, you'll be able to secretly grow carrots, potatoes, tomatoes, spinach, peppers, beets, and more. You'll find all the details inside this guide, and I will walk you through it step by step. Even if you have zero experience gardening, you'll be able to grow your own food and a secure and unlimited source of vegetables, potatoes, and fruits for your family. This guide is yours free the moment you claim your copy of Operation Blackout. And when you do, I'll also send you another survival guide called How to Turn Your Home into an Impenetrable Fortress. You see, once people start to starve, the mobs will begin stealing, assaulting, and murdering. They'll destroy the inner cities first, then they'll come to the suburbs, and they will look for the best stocked homes first. That means your home. So you need to be prepared, because you won't be able to call 911 or anyone else for help. You're on your own. Unfortunately, during this coming blackout, locks and deadbolts might not be enough to keep looters outside of your house. That's why I want to put this bonus survival guide into your hands today. Inside, you'll discover life-saving secrets like how to make your windows indestructible. Most robberies and break-ins occur through a window, but with this secret, looters won't stand a chance. How about your doors? Simply put this obscure 10-inch object behind any of your doors, and they cannot be broken. This is better than any heavy-duty deadbolt. Stake this 4-word sign outside your home, and most looters will just skip past your house. Here's a hint for you. Many survivors from New Orleans Hurricane Katrina used this method to protect themselves, and much, much more. This bonus guide will also be yours completely free of charge once you claim your copy of Operation Blackout, How to Survive 365 Days of Darkness. So, here's the deal. Instead of investing $5,000 like most people do when they go buy a generator, your investment in Operation Blackout will be just $67. That means for less than the cost of dinner with your wife, you can get complete peace of mind knowing that your family will be fully protected. And please feel free to share all this information with your friends and anyone else you want to. It's also a good idea to share this with your close neighbors, because if they're not prepared, once they begin to starve, they might gang up on you and try to steal your supplies. To get started, just click the big button you see below, and I'll ship you your beautifully printed, full-color copy of this complete survival guide for the coming 365-day blackout. Plus, to show my thanks, I'm going to eat the shipping and handling cost. Normally a $9.95 value, absolutely free. Remember, this attack could happen at any moment now, which is why I also want to give you immediate access to this critical information. When you click the button now, you'll also get instant access to a digital version of the program, plus a digital version of both bonus guides. The Invisible Survival Garden, how to safely grow your own food during a blackout, and how to turn your home into an impenetrable fortress. To get started, just click the button you see right now. From there, you'll be taken to a safe and secure order form where you can enter your details. And within 2 minutes from now, get instant access to all this information that can help you and your family survive this blackout disaster. You'll join the ranks of growing patriots who have already taken critical action to protect their loved ones. And by the way, you can make your investment in the complete survival guide for the coming 365-day blackout with complete confidence and peace of mind. You see, I want there to be no reason why you wouldn't get your hands on this life-saving information today. So I'm protecting your investment with my risk nothing, keep everything guarantee. That means you take zero risk today. And here's how it works. Once you start going through this program, I'm confident that you'll quickly realize this is the best investment you've ever made. If you don't feel that way, if for any reason at all, you think this program won't fully protect you and your family against the coming 365-day blackout, I don't want your money. Call me up, get all your money back, no questions asked. And you keep everything as my gift to you. So let me repeat that. You can get your money back, no questions asked. And you can keep everything, including your complete survival guide for the coming 365-day blackout and the 2 bonus survival guides. That means there's absolutely no risk to you. Guys, it doesn't get any fairer than that now, does it? I'm taking all the risk because I'm 100% confident that you will love this program. The way I see it, you got 2 options right now. You bury your head in the sand, pretend you didn't even see this message. You can completely ignore the warnings from the former CIA director and Homeland Security experts and just pretend this threat isn't real. In other words, you can take your chances and just hope nothing bad ever happens. That's what most people are going to do. They'll put the lives of their loved ones in the hands of the Biden administration. Can you imagine that? They'll rely on the government and the police to help them. When they try to call 911, nobody's going to be on the way. Once they have to face darkness, starvation, dehydration, they won't know what to do. That's why this official report is projecting 90% of Americans could die. But you and your family don't have to be victims. You have another option. You can take control of this situation today. With all the information inside your copy of Operation Blackout, you'll have everything you need to keep your family and friends safe. They're counting on you. So are you ready? Click the button to get started. In just a few minutes, you'll discover how to get unlimited energy and power to your house and electronics, the simple tweak to your breaker box that will shield your entire home from this attack, how to get all the food and water you'll need during this dark nightmare, and much, much more. Right now, there's 1 copy of Operation Blackout, How to Survive 365 Days of Darkness, reserved in your name. Plus both free bonus reports, The Invisible Survival Garden, and how to turn your home into an impenetrable fortress. But if you don't claim them now, they'll have to be released to somebody else. Don't let that happen. Go ahead and click the button below to get started. Before I go, I'll leave you with the true story of 11-year-old Christian Pineda in Conroe, Texas. I'm sure you heard the news in 2021 when the entire power grid collapsed in Texas in the middle of a winter storm. 4 million Texans lost power and heat for 2 days as temperatures plummeted as low as 10 degrees in their area. Christian was one of them. He tried to stay warm under a pile of blankets with his 3-year-old brother. When his mom tried to wake him up, he was unresponsive. He wasn't breathing. While his mom was giving him CPR, other family members were desperately calling 911. But it was too late. Christian literally froze to death simply because his parents were unprepared. Don't let that happen to you. Your family is counting on you to protect them. Don't disappoint them. Click below to get started. Thank you for spending this time with me today, and God bless.